Hey everyone, so week 3 of the Southern Hemisphere Space Studies program is finished, and my god, what a great week that was. So on Tuesday of this week, it was Australia Day, the 26th of January, but it was also the launch of our stratospheric balloon project. And as you guys know, I had to run the webcast for that project. But none of this would have been possible without your support. So thank you, because the balloon project was probably the highlight of my whole experience so far. So I had to run the webcast, and it was challenging is probably not even the right word to use, because it was so much different than anything I've ever done before. It was hard to coordinate the different members of my team on the day to man the cameras and stuff like that, because none of them had done that before. So there's quite a lot of things in my webcast that I would like to fix for next time, but I think it still looked pretty good overall on the whole. So I was really happy with what I achieved. And the balloon project itself, well, on the day I got chosen to go into the car that actually chases the balloon after you let it go in the sky, and we had to drive for like 3 hours before the balloon actually came down to the ground. So we're driving in like rural Australia, speeding, because you know we have to find this balloon before it actually like gets to the ground and we lose it forever. We get there, and unfortunately there's all these like trees and bushes and scrubs, so we couldn't see the balloon as it came down. But we had to trek for over 1 kilometer each way into the bush to find the balloon. And I was the only member from the space school to actually be there when we found the balloon. The other car that had our space school people in it actually got lost, so they didn't get to see it at all, which is a bit disappointing. I've got some footage of when I first find the balloon, and there's not many words to describe the feeling when you know that you've just sent something into near space, and it's the same thing that you're looking at on the ground. And that was a big kind of happy moment for me in this program. Nice, look at that. Oh, that's amazing.
There we go.
That is so cool. So that was Tuesday, and then on Thursday, the other highlight I had of this week is we had someone come and talk to us via Skype, so via video, about the state of Africa in space. Now, you might think Africa is kind of a nation where their gross domestic product per person is not that high, so you'd think, why are they spending money on space? Well, there's quite a few African countries that actually do spend money on space, because they realize that spending money on space helps the people of their country back on Earth. So there's 4 African nations that kind of have space agencies or space policy units at the moment. We have Algeria, and the Algerian Space Agency, they have 2 Earth observation satellites, ALSAT-1 and ALSAT-2A, and they're currently in the process of integrating their 3rd satellite, ALSAT-2B. They use that information from these satellites to take pictures of the Earth, and use that to look at how Algeria is progressing in terms of, say, the state of their infrastructure or natural disasters and things like that. So we also have Egypt. Egypt doesn't have a space agency as such, but they have the National Authority for Remote Sensing and Space Sciences. And they have their own Earth observation satellite called EgyptSat-1, and they're currently building EgyptSat-2. They have a commercial communications satellite operator called Nilesat, and they operate 4 communication satellites. And we also have Nigeria, which has the National Space Research Development Agency, and they have an Earth observation satellite called NIGESat-1, and they also have NIGESat-2. They bought NIGECOMSAT, which is a communication satellite from China, and the company NIGECOMSAT operates that commercial satellite. So seems like Nigeria is doing pretty well in the space industry as well. Finally, you have South Africa. So South Africa has the South African National Space Agency, or SANZA. That was established in 2010, and they have an Earth observation satellite called excuse the pronunciation here, Sambandila Sat. and they plan to build more Earth observation satellites in the future. South Africa has also been chosen to host the Square Kilometre Array, which is a radio telescope array, mostly for astronomical reasons, but hopefully that can help them to kind of build their ground infrastructure and learn the skills that they might need to build their own ground stations for more satellites in the future. So the reason that this kind of affected me a little bit is that I'm thinking, like, even nations in Africa have the ability to make a space agency, and they can see the benefits that it'll bring to their country. So why can't Australia do the same thing? I'm learning a lot about space through this program, and the more I learn, the more I realize how behind our country is in terms of space and the benefits that we could be reaping for our country if we just invested in space. So I'm getting a little bit inspired here to do something to change that, and it's all thanks to you guys. So I know I rambled on a little bit in this video, and it's kind of late, but I've been super busy writing this white paper that we have to do that's looking at how remote sensing and Earth observation can help food and water security for the global south. And it's progressing pretty well, and I'll let you know how that goes in my next video diary update. So until next time, thank you. You guys are amazing, and I'll see you next week.